What's up, sassy? So listen, I'm sitting here. I'm early for an appointment that I have for a massage. You know how we always talk about self-love and what we do just to take time out just for ourselves, so that we can just make sure that we're the best people we can be, right? And one of the things that I do as self-love is I like to get massages and I like to pamper myself. So, massages, nails, hair, although my hair is it's not a hot mess. It's just I'm tapping into my old natural today, all right? Okay. My hair is doing very pretty amazing though. I'm very proud of it. It's growing, it's good, and it's very just goodness, right? Anyway, so yeah, I'm sitting here waiting for my appointment to start. I'm super early. Um, and I want to talk to you guys. So, my birthday is practically here. It is tomorrow. Happy birthday to me, YOLO. All right. Um, I look amazing for my age. I mean, no brag, just truth. And so it got me thinking about a few things. And it's like, wow, Jay, like, look at your life. It's not so much like well, it's amazing, but not like pretty amazing, like I'm bragging. It's just, I always have these self-reflection moments where I just look back and just look where God has brought me from. You know what I mean? It's just one of them, like, I'm always the type of person like, ooh, this time last year was X, Y, and Z. So this time last year, I was uber pregnant. Like, dear God, am I gonna make it? Okay. I was pregnant. We were in transition. We were having our home built, and my husband bought me a car. And now, here's another year. We're in our home. We have a beautiful new addition aside from my other daughter and son. We have another son, and he's amazing. And it's just, I always take this time to just look where God has brought me over the years, and this and even from this time last year. And it got me to thinking. It's just like, so many times we have this cookie cutter happily ever after, right? Like, especially for women, I feel like it starts like when we're kids. It's like, oh yes, my Prince Charming is gonna come, and I gotta turn this air on, child, because I was hot. Sometimes I still don't know how to work this car. I don't know what all these buttons do. Okay, I'm back. Sometimes um, because we grew up. We grew up, as kids playing with the Barbie and Ken, and oh, things should be this way, and my Prince Charming is gonna come, and he's going to, just whisk me away on a fairy tale, this, that, and that. And I'm like, I feel like that sometimes that's where disappointment comes in, because we have this cookie cutter thing in our minds of what happily ever after should be, instead of just being open to what God wants to do and when he wants to do it. And I think, of course, like growing up, you can't even fathom that, right? But, looking back on it now, like, it's like totally the way to be. I just feel like we shouldn't, because listen, honey, when I was in high school, I used to be like, I'm going to be married by the time I am 27. And I'm going to have 2 kids, a dog, a truck, and a sports car. And it was like, yep, that's me. That's what's going to happen. Okay, all right. Cut it out, Jay. Like, totally was telling God what I was going to do and how my life was going to be. Instead of saying, God, whatever you want to do in this season, don't do it without me. I'm willing and I'm an open vessel to you. Use me however you please. Nope, not Jay. Not OCD controller Jay. Nope, thought I had it all planned out, right? But I just, looking back on the last 30 years of the life that I have lived, I just feel like God did give me my happily ever after. It just didn't come in the form that I thought it would. And being open to God's plan, I think, gets rid of disappointment. Like, I know a lot of people who are like, I'm so not where I want to be. But it's, we focus on that instead of channeling into God and what he will have for us in this season, right? So, I'll be transparent. I was a single mother for years. I had my son and then my daughter. I came out of a toxic relationship, and I had to rebuild myself. Figuring out what Jay liked. What do you like? What do you want to do? Do whatever you want. Let's redevelop your smile. Let's rediscover the things that make you laugh. Like, I had to literally build myself back up from the ground. And I just thank God for the process, because, a wise person once said, if you erase all of the mistakes of your past, you're erasing who you are. So I thank God for those times in my life where things weren't the way that I wanted them to be. Now, granted, I want to say I was out of the will. Okay, you know what I am going to say? I was out of the will of God. But because God is an amazing God, he made it all work together for my good. You know what I mean? Like, I remember being in a toxic relationship thinking, God, how did I get here? And how am I going to get out? And looking back on it, the way that he did it was so strategic and so freaking amazing. And, just a little tidbit on relationships. Seeking God in your relationship saves you a world of trouble. Okay? But let's say you didn't. Let's say you were like me and you didn't seek God in it. You went with what you thought should be or what you wanted, and you ignored all the signs of that this relationship is not what God has predestined for you. Let's say you didn't. Let's say you just move forward. I need you to know that I am a living witness that God will redeem the time. God will make it all work together for your good. And you are stronger than you think you are. And honey, you can do bad all by yourself. All right? You can do bad all by yourself. And sometimes God, and I'm also a living witness. I remember that I was scared to let go because I didn't know what the future held. But sometimes, because once again, here we go, holding on to what we think should be happily ever after. And it's the worst nightmare you can ever imagine. But then you're already in it, right? So you don't know how to come up out of it. But God has a plan. And God is so merciful and he's so amazing that whatever your mistakes are, he will work it to your good, to your betterment, man. Listen, I am a living witness. You couldn't have told me that leaving that old relationship would have put me where I am today. Now, of course, you pray, oh God, please bring me my Boaz, my husband, and let him be X, Y, and Z. And God did that thing. As soon as I submitted to his will, as soon as I gave it all up, okay, God, all right, I'm done trying to pave my life. I surrender to you. Do with it what you will. And that's just what I had to do. And that's when things just started turning for me. And my husband I tell him all the time, and he looks at me like whatever. But like he exceeds my heart's desire. I tell him that all the time. You are beyond what I prayed for. You are beyond. God said that he will do over and above what we can ask or think. And he did that thing. So, but it didn't start until I let go of what I thought happily ever after was. You know what I mean? So, yes, I was a single mother. Yes, I went through some hard times. But now I am married. I have 3 babies. An amazing life. So my happily ever after is not what I thought it would be, but it's what God planned for it to be. So I don't want us to get caught up on the cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Now, granted, listen. If Boaz, a.k.a. Prince Charming, a.k.a. Bay, come, child, and whisk you off on a white horse, a.k.a. white Jaguar, Audi, Land Rover, whatever, then listen, God is good, ain't he? But if you're in the middle of something and you don't know how to get out of it, or if you're focusing on all of your past regrets, or if you're focusing on your mistakes, you gotta know that you still have time. And you gotta know that God will redeem the time. And you gotta know that whatever you're in right now, he can deliver it from you and still work that thing out to your good. And even in our disappointments, even in the things that we fail at, even in the mistakes we make on purpose, like, I know what it is, but I'm gonna still do it. God is still merciful. He will forgive us. And then that thing becomes our testimony. So the beginning of this year, God told me that, Jay, you're going to have to become more transparent. Because in you becoming transparent of the journey that I took you on, it's going to bless others. And I'm like, I mean, that's what your words say and everything. But, I mean, I hear you, all right? And that's actually what has been happening. I've been more transparent, even, just talking one-on-one with people. In a lot of my blogs that I write. Are you following me? Sassy Perspectives at WordPress.com. And even on here on my YouTube channel, just becoming more transparent of my journey is blessing others. I have people texting me, calling me, writing me, inboxing me saying, Jay, oh my God, you helped me get through, or I never knew that about you. You're such a blessing. You don't look like what you've been through, or you're helping me get through this, or when I was confronted with this, I thought of your message. Like, yes, okay, God is like legit using, I guess he took me through it so that I can be a witness to his grace and mercy and his goodness. So, yeah, I mean, listen, birthday is tomorrow. I'm reflecting on where I've been, the highs and lows, the disappointments, the good times. And I'm grateful for it all because it has shaped who I am. And it is my happily ever after. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting here. And it's not so much always about the tangible things either. Although, listen, tangible things are great. I don't care what nobody say. Okay? You just can't let them rule your life. I thank God for my car. I thank God for the house that my father gave us. I thank God for my job. I thank God for the ability to be able to get a massage once or twice a month. those things, I just thank God for it. You thank God in all things. And the tangibles are things that I thank God for. You just can't let them rule your life. And that can't be your main focus, to just have things, because things are things. Didn't just God tell us that? You may get a few things, but things are things. And it's not the biggest picture. Let me tell you the biggest picture. Having peace, being joyful, being grateful, having a relationship with God. Those are the key instruments in a solid foundation. So while I thank God for the things, I thank them for the intangible as well. Listen, if you don't have your peace, honey, you ain't got nothing. Yep, ain't got. You ain't got nothing. All right? You don't have anything. I remember once upon a time I couldn't even laugh because I was so broken, because I was so hurt. And now I have my joy. Those things mean the world to me. And I know it was because God restored me and made me better than before. So yes, you still have time to paint your happily ever after with the tangible and the intangible. It is, I'm a living witness. It's possible. You got to step out. You're not going to know what to do. It's not going to be an easy journey. In the beginning, it's not going to be an easy journey. It's going to be, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it real. It's going to be a lot of nights that you cried. Lots of nights you want to turn back to the old you. Lots of nights where you just don't know what to do. But you got to trust God through it all. And when you first step out on faith, that's when you begin to create your happily ever after. Listen, I am so content where I am now, but I know it's not the end. And I know that God has more for me to do and more for me. So I'm happy with my happily ever after, but I know that He's still favoring me and blessing me to continue to paint my happily ever after. It's amazing. Like, who knows where I'll be this time next year. Sassy, listen, I name and claim it every day. I have an alarm on my phone that reminds me to do my declaration. And in it, I say, this is the year of my explosive manifestation. Explosive manifestation in my Sassy Perspective brand. Explosive manifestation in my finances. Explosive manifestations in my marriage. Explosive manifestations in my household, with my children, in my personal life, in my spirit, in my mind, and in my job. Every day at the same time. Okay? Siri, tell me. It's time to declare. Declare and decree. So I can only imagine, we have what we say. So, death and life is in the power of the tongue. So I'm proclaiming that every day. And in proclaiming that I will receive explosive manifestation, that is again continuously forming my happily ever after. It's not one thing where, okay, you get one thing and this is your happily ever after. No, it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. You continuously build and it gets better and better and better because God is just that amazing. It is very important to be in relationship with Christ, not religion. Don't even get me started on that. My pastor is preaching on that. No religion. Religion is man-made. Okay? Religion killed Christ. Relationship is what we need, because that's the intimacy between you and Him. So as long as you are building that relationship with Him, He's helping you and planning your happily ever after. It even goes into the depths of relationship with him. I'm not where I was this time last year in my relationship with Christ. He's proven himself so much to me that I have no other choice but to trust him. And I tell y'all all the time, I talk to God like he is the homie. You hear me? The homie. All the time. This is me talking to Christ. Daddy, listen, this is how this is making me feel. And I need you to take this feeling away from me, because I know it's not of you. Because in the end, I have to resemble you. And I have to be the light in dark places. But Daddy, I need you to cover my mind. And I plead the blood of Jesus. Like, that's a daily for me. Or, God, really? Really, you just gonna do me like that? No problem. Thanks, God. Yo, you just blessed me. I know that was you. Danger seen and unseen. Thanks, God. It's a constant relationship. And that's where your foundation should be. So in that constant relationship, he will help you rebuild or build your peace, your joy. He will bring you out. He will deliver you. He will redeem the time on your behalf. So much. But it's all about relationship with Christ. Your relationship with Christ will help you have the best happily ever after. And it'll be above whatever you can imagine. I'm a living witness. So I don't want you guys to get stuck on what you think it should be. Just continue to surrender to Christ and have your heart and your mind open to hear him and just let him do the work. And you have to be, and even in those times and those decisions where you don't think you're strong enough to make, tell him, God, I'm not strong enough to do this. So I need you to do it for me. Or, God, I need you to help me through this. Give me wisdom. That's another thing that I pray every day. God, please give me wisdom to deal with this. God, give me your wisdom to for the next move for Sassy Perspectives. God, give me your wisdom to be a great wife. God, give me a wisdom to raise these kids in the admonition of the Lord. Wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. So you have to have a strong foundation. And Christ is the only way to have a strong foundation, a relationship with him. But I don't want you to get caught up on the cookie cutter idea of happily ever after. It's all God's plan. And every plan is custom made. Like, your plan's not going to look like my plan. But all of our plans are to God's glory. You got to know it. So let go of what you think the happily ever after should be, and seek God for what he has for your happily ever after. Love you. Sassy Perspectives forever, honey.